Today, we are going to explore a method that has transformed the way people work and study all around the world. You sit down at your desk, ready to finally get things done. Your notes are open, your laptop is on, and you have a full day ahead. But within minutes, your phone buzzes, a notification pops up, someone walks by, and suddenly 30 minutes have passed and you have barely started. Sound familiar? You are definitely not alone. Millions of people face this exact situation every single day, whether they are studying for an important exam, finishing a work project, or simply trying to complete a basic task. The question is, why does staying focused feel so incredibly difficult, even when we genuinely want to get things done? Here's something most people don't realize. Your brain was never built to focus for hours without stopping. It simply isn't how human cognition works. Think of your brain like a muscle. Push it too hard for too long without rest, and it starts to break down. You've probably experienced this yourself. You sit down to work, feeling motivated, but after an hour or two, your thoughts become scattered, your decisions get sloppy, and everything feels twice as difficult as it should. That's not laziness, that's biology. When we try to power through marathon work sessions, we're actually working against our own minds. The result is burnout, declining work quality, and that heavy mental fog that makes even simple tasks feel exhausting. So clearly, working longer isn't the answer. Working smarter is. And that means we need a completely different approach to how we structure our time and energy throughout the day. So what is the solution to this constant battle with focus and mental exhaustion? The answer might be simpler than you think. It is called the Pomodoro technique, and it is one of the most popular and effective time management methods ever created. Despite being incredibly straightforward to learn and apply, this technique has helped millions of people across the world transform the way they work, study, and manage their time. From students cramming for exams to professionals handling demanding workloads, people from all walks of life have turned to this method to sharpen their focus, boost their efficiency, and actually feel good about what they accomplish each day. The best part is that you do not need any special skills or expensive tools to get started. All you need is a timer and the willingness to try something new. So let us dive in and explore exactly what this technique is all about. Now, before we dive deeper into how this technique actually works, let us take a quick look at where it all began, because the origin story is surprisingly simple and relatable. Back in the late 1980s, a young Italian university student named Francesco Cirillo was struggling with the same focus problems many of us face today. Feeling overwhelmed by his studies, he made a decision to challenge himself to just focus for a short, manageable period of time. To hold himself accountable, he grabbed a small kitchen timer from his kitchen. That timer happened to be shaped like a tomato. In Italian, the word for tomato is Pomodoro, and that is exactly how this now world-famous technique got its name. What started as one student's personal experiment with a quirky little timer eventually grew into a productivity method used by millions of people worldwide. Pretty remarkable, right? Now that you know where the Pomodoro technique came from, let us talk about how it actually works, because the structure is beautifully simple. The entire method is built around one core idea: focused work followed by intentional rest. Here is how it breaks down. You pick a task you need to work on, set a timer for exactly 25 minutes, and during those 25 minutes, you give that task your complete and undivided attention. No checking messages, no switching tabs, no distractions of any kind. When the timer rings, you stop and take a 5-minute short break. That is it. This combination, 25 minutes of focused work plus a 5-minute break, is what is called one Pomodoro cycle. Think of it as one complete unit of productive time. Short enough to stay sharp, structured enough to make real progress. One Pomodoro cycle, 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. Simple, clean, and surprisingly powerful. Now that you understand one Pomodoro cycle, Let's talk about what happens as you complete multiple cycles throughout your day. After finishing 4 Pomodoros, meaning 4 focused 25-minute work sessions each followed by a 5-minute break, you reward yourself with a longer break. This extended rest period lasts anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, and it plays a crucial role in keeping your mind sharp and energized. Think of it this way. Your brain has been working hard through 4 concentrated sessions. Those short 5-minute breaks helped you stay refreshed between cycles, but after 4 rounds, your mind needs deeper recovery time. This longer break allows your brain to fully consolidate the information it has processed, release accumulated mental tension, and genuinely recharge before you begin your next set of 4 Pomodoros. This rhythm of focused work, followed by strategic rest, is what makes the entire system so remarkably sustainable throughout a full working day. The Pomodoro technique essentially works with your brain's natural rhythms rather than fighting against them, making sustained productivity genuinely achievable. The answer lies in how our brains process information and respond to time pressure. When you commit to working for just 25 minutes, your brain perceives it as a manageable challenge, triggering a mild sense of urgency. This urgency activates your focus and naturally pushes distractions aside because the window is short enough to stay mentally locked in. Now, here is where the breaks become equally important. Research in cognitive neuroscience shows that our brains consolidate learning and process new information during rest periods. When you step away after an intense focused session, your brain is not going idle. It is actually organizing and storing what you just worked on. Without these scheduled breaks, mental fatigue sets in quickly, causing your concentration to drop and your error rate to rise. Now, one of the biggest reasons people love the Pomodoro technique is how effectively it tackles procrastination. Think about it. When you sit down and tell yourself you need to work for 5 or 6 hours straight, your brain immediately resists. That mountain of time feels crushing before you even begin. But what if you only had to commit to 25 minutes? Suddenly, the task does not feel so intimidating anymore. That is exactly the psychological shift the Pomodoro technique creates. Instead of dreading a long, endless work session, you are simply saying to yourself, I can do this for just 25 minutes. That small mental reframe is incredibly powerful. It lowers the barrier to getting started, which is often the hardest part of any task. Those assignments you have been avoiding, those projects collecting dust, they all become far more approachable when broken down into short, manageable bursts of focused effort. That is truly all there is to it. Simple, structured, and surprisingly powerful. The process is beautifully simple. Start by choosing one specific task you want to work on. Do not pick 3 things at once, just one clear goal for the session. Next, set a timer for 25 minutes. You can use your phone, a kitchen timer, or any clock nearby. Once the timer starts, work with complete focus until it rings. No checking messages, no switching tabs, no distractions. Just you and your task for those 25 minutes. Whether you go old school with a physical timer or embrace a smart app, what matters most is consistency and commitment to the process. The good news is, you do not need anything fancy to begin. A simple kitchen timer or your phone's built-in timer works perfectly fine. Just set it for 25 minutes and you are ready to go. However, if you want a more structured and enjoyable experience, dedicated apps can make a real difference. Forest is a popular choice that gamifies focus by growing a virtual tree during each session. Focus Keeper gives you a clean, intuitive interface with built-in Pomodoro tracking. Pomo Focus is a free browser-based tool that is incredibly simple and beginner-friendly. These apps help you track completed Pomodoros, visualize your progress, and stay accountable. Now that you know your tools, let's talk about something equally important: choosing the right tasks for each session. Not every task fits neatly into a single Pomodoro, and that's completely okay. The key is learning how to work with your tasks strategically. For large or complex tasks, like writing a report or studying an entire chapter, break them into smaller, specific chunks. Instead of telling yourself you'll work on the report, decide to write the introduction in one Pomodoro and complete the first section in the next. This makes the work feel manageable and gives you a clear target. On the flip side, if you have several quick tasks, like replying to emails, making a phone call, or organizing files, group them together into a single Pomodoro. This way, every session feels purposeful and complete. Thoughtful task planning transforms your Pomodoros from random work bursts into focused, intentional progress, making your next Pomodoro session significantly more focused and energized, because how you spend that time matters more than you might think. The goal of a short break is to genuinely step away and let your mind reset. That means closing your laptop, putting down your phone, and moving away from any screen entirely. Scrolling through social media or watching a quick video does not count as a real break. Your brain stays stimulated and you lose the restorative effect completely. Instead, try something simple and physical. Stand up and stretch your neck, shoulders and back. Walk to the kitchen and grab a glass of water. Step outside for some fresh air if you can. Avoiding these 4 mistakes will make your Pomodoro practice significantly more effective from day one, because a few common mistakes can quietly sabotage your progress. The first mistake is checking your phone during a work session. Even a quick glance breaks your focus and restarts your brain's concentration cycle entirely. The second mistake is not respecting your break times. Skipping breaks or cutting them short defeats the whole purpose of the technique and leads right back to mental fatigue. Third, many beginners try to multitask within a single Pomodoro. Remember, each session is meant for one focused task only. And finally, not tracking your completed Pomodoros is a missed opportunity. By handling interruptions this way, you maintain momentum and return to your task without losing the mental flow you worked hard to build. Someone walks up to your desk, a colleague sends an urgent message, or a family member needs your attention. These moments can completely derail your focus if you do not have a plan. This is where the inform, negotiate, and call back strategy becomes incredibly useful. When an interruption happens, first inform the person that you are currently in the middle of focused work. Then negotiate a time when you can give them your full attention. Something like saying you will get back to them in 10 minutes. Finally, follow through and call back once your Pomodoro is complete. This approach respects both your focus and the other person's needs. The key is not to feel guilty about protecting your work session. Now, one of the best things about the Pomodoro technique is that it is not a rigid one-size-fits-all system. You have the freedom to adapt it based on what works best for you personally. While 25 minutes is the widely accepted standard, many people find that their natural focus window is actually longer. Some professionals prefer working in 50-minute intervals, followed by 10-minute breaks, which still preserves the core principle of structured work and intentional rest. Others might find 20 minutes more manageable, especially when first starting out. The key is to experiment and pay attention to how your brain responds. Notice when your concentration starts to dip, when you feel most energized, and how long your recovery breaks need to be. There is no wrong answer here. What matters most is that you are creating a rhythm that feels sustainable and genuinely productive for your unique work style and daily demands, knowing exactly how much focused, intentional work they completed. The benefits go far beyond simply getting more done in a day. One of the most commonly reported improvements is concentration. Over time, your brain becomes trained to enter deep focus mode the moment that timer starts. Tasks that once felt impossible to sit through become manageable and even enjoyable. People also report significantly reduced anxiety around large tasks. Breaking everything into 25-minute chunks removes that overwhelming feeling of not knowing where to begin. Another powerful benefit is better time estimation. After tracking dozens of Pomodoros, you develop an accurate sense of how long different tasks actually take, and turns vague goals into measurable, satisfying progress across every area of your life. Its power extends into nearly every corner of your daily life, and that is what makes it truly remarkable. If you are working on a creative project like writing, painting, or composing music, timed sessions help you enter a flow state without feeling overwhelmed by the bigger picture. Household chores become far less dreaded when you commit to just 25 minutes of cleaning or organizing. Suddenly, the whole house feels manageable. For fitness routines, you can structure warm-ups, strength training, and cool-downs into focused intervals that keep your energy consistent and your motivation high. Even learning new skills, whether it is a new language, an instrument, or coding, now that you understand the power of the Pomodoro technique, the real question is, how do you make it stick as a daily habit? The key is to start small and build gradually. Do not overwhelm yourself by trying to complete 10 Pomodoros on your very first day. Instead, begin with just 2 to 3 Pomodoros per day. This feels manageable, builds confidence, and creates a positive association with the practice. As the days pass and your comfort grows, slowly increase the number of sessions. Another powerful strategy is pairing your Pomodoro sessions with a consistent workspace and routine. Whether it is your desk at home or a favorite corner at a cafe, having a dedicated spot signals to your brain that it is time to focus. Combine this with a set start time each day, perhaps right after morning coffee, and you create a powerful environmental trigger that reinforces the habit naturally over time. Productivity stops feeling like pressure and starts feeling like something you genuinely control. The real magic does not happen overnight, but after weeks and months of consistent practice, something remarkable begins to shift inside you. First, your focus muscles genuinely get stronger. Just like physical exercise builds endurance over time, regularly training your attention through structured work sessions makes deep concentration feel more natural and less effortful. You also develop stronger self-discipline. Honoring your timers, respecting your breaks, and showing up consistently builds an internal sense of reliability that carries into every area of your life. Work-life balance improves too. When you know exactly how much focused work you have completed each day, you can switch off without guilt, protecting your personal time. Perhaps most importantly, your entire relationship with time transforms. You have got this. We have covered a lot of ground together. From understanding why our brains struggle with long focus sessions, to discovering how Francesco Cirillo's simple tomato timer changed the way millions of people work. We walked through the core structure of 25 minutes of focused work, followed by short and long breaks, explored the science behind it, and discussed how to customize, build, and sustain this habit in your daily life. Now here is your challenge. The moment this video ends, pick one task, set a 25-minute timer, and complete your very first Pomodoro session. Remember, becoming more productive is not about pushing yourself harder or grinding through exhaustion. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more productivity and deep focus techniques. Thanks for watching.